Hello, everyone. Derek Floyd here, Beautiful Now Podcast. Welcome to another edition of Beautiful Now Live. This is the segment where I interview special guests about things that are topical and relevant to your world, your family, and your community. And today, obviously, is no different. With COVID-19 ravaging through our communities, there have been people that have been struggling to find a job, trying to figure out how to make ends meet. And today I have a guest that's going to talk about how to create a six-figure income in the middle of a pandemic. Yes, I want to hear this one too. But before we get started with that, please do me a favor. Hit me with a like or subscribe to the channel. This lets me get the most updated content to you as soon as it's available. And as always, we want to let you know that these are powered by IK Multimedia. Now, without further ado, my special guest is a business strategic analyst who helps a lot of businesses and entrepreneurs put together their ideas to form the businesses ahead, help them manage the highs and lows, how to figure out social media. So much of the media is controlling that now. He's got a whole new vision of how business can be put together, and he's going to show us a little bit of that today to help us see business is still happening even in the middle of a pandemic. Will you please help me welcome my good friend, Mr. Randall Hurt. Randall, you there, brother?
Derek Floyd, what's happening, my friend? How you guys doing? Beautiful now.
There it is. There it is. How you been, brother? You good?
Been good, brother. And here in Chicago, trying to stay warm.
Y'all got that real cold out there, bro.
Real cold, for real.
I just kind of do like this. And see, I'm from Ohio, so I know cold.
Oh, you got it.
I'm in Charlotte now, so I kind of got away from the real cold. I'm cheating you now. It's okay.
That's all right. That's all right, brother. I'm headed down there, I think, next week towards the south. We just haven't figured out where we're going yet. But we're headed out of this cold, brother.
Man. OHIO, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Well, man, I appreciate you taking some time to talk to the subscribers. You and I have talked multiple times about what's going on in the planet right now. And we hear so much of the news, people telling us, man, people don't have a job. People are struggling to pay their bills. They're trying to get food to eat. And you say to me, people, you can build a business in this pandemic. I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? And I said, I got to bring you on to talk to the subscribers to talk about that. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I think that, we have to be very careful with what we kind of take into our ear and eye gates in regards to what the media says, what we're reading, and what we're allowing to be, spoken kind of over our lives. You know what, Derek? It's really funny that the media, and I don't want to point fingers at anyone, because we really have to kind of figure out, what's best for us in our lives. But the media kind of gives you a picture that everything has stopped, everyone's out of work. There is nothing flowing. But if you look at the stock market, which a lot of businesses are driven by, it's done nothing but grow during this pandemic. It's actually hit some historic numbers in the midst of this pandemic. And it's because we have, as a country, in the U.S. at least, we've dumped money into it by the trillions into the economy to continue to keep it moving. So their business is happening.
Wow. And you've been a leader in this business development sector for quite a few years. You've seen it all come and go. What exactly does like a media management consultant do overall? What's the terminology? What does it do?
Sure. Well, when GE Riley, what we do for our clients is we help clients start businesses, and we also help clients that are in business. Usually kind of keep our realm around the 2 to 5 year mark that are in business, help them to scale it and to grow it into a larger business. And we utilize things that we know in regards to and have expertise in social media, as well as proven management skills. I've been in the management game for about 30 years in a ton of different verticals, from retail to insurance, to finance, to banks, things of that nature, different call centers around the country, as well as very high level management in my church. And we're one of the fastest growing churches in America right now.
Wow. So Just knowing that, then, so many businesses, entrepreneurs fail because they lack the proper planning or strategic way to think about how to build this business. How important are those details really when you're forming a business, especially in the middle of COVID-19?
Strategy is at the core. There are two things that kind of drive business. One is marketing, the other is sales. But making a clear strategy of how to get your marketing to the people and how to have what some of my coaches call marketing stamina, where you just continue to market in regards to the whatever the situation that's going on the outside. You continue to market to your client base. As a matter of fact, that's one of the things that helped us go over six figures on last year, right in the midst of COVID, was because we doubled down and we continued marketing to our ideal client. So if you're figuring out how to get into business and what type of business to do, this is a great time to kind of work through those things, because really right now it's an excellent time as far as social media is concerned. It's not free, but it's really been brought down to a very, very manageable level. So it's a great time to take advantage of it.
Mm. Which brings me to a question that I guess that a lot of us were thinking, don't you need to be like in a big city to create a new business where you can get like lots of leads and draws and customers? Or can you do it in a small town, small space? Can you do that?
I think one of the benefits that you'll see in this area with this era where people have pivoted into the virtual space, your business now is worldwide. You can reach anyone, anywhere. And keeping in mind that a lot of states and a lot of countries even are in this stay-at-home, locked-in type of an environment. So they're actually at their homes online searching for goods and services for them and their families. So this is an excellent time to get out and to really explore different things that you want to do. Brick and mortars right now, not so much, but you can pivot your business to a virtual state quite not easily, but with strategy, with the proper strategy, you can be pretty successful.
Now, that tells me that I've got to be online in some way, shape, or form, and I keep thinking social media and all this digital content management. Do I have to go get another friggin' degree to figure this out? I mean, this is a whole other world that maybe most of us are not used to. We use Facebook and Twitter, but we're not using social media to create business for. Is there do I have to go back to school, or is there some shortcuts that me figure out how to get this thing going on social media?
That's a great question. And I get that quite often because of the complexity of it. And I think that it's not just a complexity, and I have to be very careful here. I think it's simply because it's just new. It's new-ish to us. I mean, I remember getting in or signing up for Facebook back in 2006. That was new to me.
Facebook, how new is that?
You got to remember, too, that 2006, that was only, 14 years ago, 15 years ago?
That's
not a lot of time. You can go back and get some type of level of, documentation or degree and things like that. I don't think you need to do it. Get you a coach, and just about everything that you need to learn as it relates to the social media space and even business, it's in a book. Start reading. It's out there.
Wow. And, I tell people, at least a lot of my friends and my colleagues, because they ask me, how did I get started on this channel? How did I get started on this whole? It's like, you know what? YouTube, man. YouTube videos come from everywhere. You can get on and find anything you want to learn how to do on YouTube.
100%.
So,
it's dialed in. You can just search for it and just dial it in.
Yeah. Type it into Google, and it will tell you how to do whatever you want to do somehow, some way. And I was laughing with my wife last night. We were watching a movie. We were watching Star Trek, of all things, right?
Okay.
And we were talking about how technology has changed in the last 20 years, 30 years. You didn't have the internet before 1980, and all of a sudden the internet came on. Remember AOL?
I do.
Dial up.
Dial up.
and you were waiting. Maybe. Come on, man! And you had the big brick phone. Remember all the? Come on, and you look at Star Trek.
Speaking of the big brick phone,
you got the brick phone. You got it over there. Don't do it, man.
So I was looking, and I was cleaning up my office, right? Because I had to move locations, and look what I found. This is an old Samsung, and it was one of the first ones that had a camera in the back.
And see, that looked like the little tricorder thing from Star Trek. You get the flip thing. Now, we've come so far, and now we take that technology for granted. But like you said, if we need the information, it's out there. We just got to know how to search for it. So I really believe that's a coup in your cap, just because you got to remember it's out there somehow, some way, and we have to learn how to use it effectively. That's where you come into play. With you being a social media manager, this kind of helps them manage what content's out there, right?
Exactly. It helps them manage what's out there. It also helps them to put the right information in front of the right audience, because that really is the biggest portion of the game. Just being on social media will garner some type of result, but being targeted and being strategic about how you show up in social media, that's what's going to get you over the hump.
Mm-hmm. So can I take literally any business and put it online? And what would I do to even start that? What would be my first
I think you can take
there?
That's a great question. I think you can take, and I get this obviously in the last year, I've gotten it a lot. I think you can take some aspect of your business. And this is the example that I use is I work with a company that has a swimming company just just built this swimming company where they teach folks how to swim. Took over a huge like auto dealership, their storeroom, and they renovated the whole thing. It took them about a year to do it. And then they opened up right the summer of 2019. So they just opened up. And then, of course, March-ish here in Illinois, we shut down everything. Yeah. And they were like, oh my God, Randy, what am I going to do? I have rent due and things of that nature. I'm like, what were you teaching? His name's Derek too, by the way. Like, what were you teaching, Derek? It's like, I was teaching people how to swim. It's like,
good name.
Do you I'm like, do you have access to the pools? He's like, of course, I own the building. I'm like, okay, great. Now, what would you do to teach them? Well, I would get in and I would show them this and I would show them that. I'm like, right. So do you think you can set up a camera by the pool, put a mic in the pool and teach swimming? He's like, but they're not here. I'm like, is there techniques that they can learn and breathing techniques and things like that? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, that's your lick. That's your lick right there. So he's teaching swimming online. He's teaching strokes and he's teaching breathing techniques and things like that. And his channel is just taking off. It's amazing. And
you can teach just about anything. I see tutorials for stuff. I'm thinking, is there really a tutorial for this? But there's something for everything out there. So
I was looking just this afternoon. One of my favorite things is Panera's chicken rice soup. And in Illinois, they only sell it twice a week, right? I went on YouTube and just found out how to make the recipe. I can have it every day if I want to.
I love it.
So you can do anything.
See. So here's where we zero in then. So we've talked about what people can do. So here I am. I don't have a job right now, and I need to make ends meet. But I have some passions that I think I'm good at. How can I turn those passions that I have an interest in into a six-figure business? Where do I even start with that?
Right. First of all, I think that what we need to make sure that we understand is those passions, they are worth something to someone. If you remember, let's say take something as simple as we were talking about soup a moment ago, at least I was. Let's take something as simple as cooking. Having the passion and the drive to be a chef, and if you are a chef and things of that nature, there's so many aspects of your business that you can teach online. The thing is making sure that you find your audience. Not everyone is going to be interested in cooking, but there are millions of people around the world that are interested in cooking. So it's about attracting those individuals through your marketing to your channel or to your website so you can serve them at the highest level. One of the challenges that a lot of folks are having right now is they believe that what they know, the things that they've learned, the skill sets that they possess right now aren't valuable. I used to think the same thing, and that's why I think I stayed in corporate America for so long. I worked in corporate America for over 21 years, and I thought that I would not be able to do this. So what I'm doing for my clients right now is exactly what I did for major corporations, placing their issues and problems in front of me and a big ball of yarn, if you will, and helping them understand how to pull those twines and to put everything in order. That's what I did for Chase. I did it for JP Morgan. I did it for Allstate and so many others, Blockbuster Music on the retail side, and so many others. And it's because there was things that I knew innately. I have a skill set that really is about administration and helping people get things in line. And that's really what I use. And one of the things that you have to be careful with is that, man, you know more than you think you know. You've probably forgotten more than some folks who are really just starting out would love to know.
True. And I'm terrible. Yeah. I have a horrible memory.
We have an awesome opportunity because people, one, that they are at home, and two, they do need some alternative ideas about what to do with this economy. So if you don't have a job today, if you have been, because there are a lot of companies that simply will not go back to business as usual, quote unquote, business pre-COVID. They will not go back. I've seen so many corporations that are letting their folks stay home permanently. And what does that look like for you as an individual that used to work in that company? It's something that we all can figure out. And that's what I help my clients do.
Well, then aside from going back to school, which everybody can't do in the middle of a pandemic, maybe we don't have the funds, there's not the resources, there's not the grants out there like it used to be. What are some of the innovative tools that we can gather, some of the resources that can get us started toward making that business happen?
I think if we were talking about being economical. I'm going to take this from a ground zero type of a position, like you don't have any resources, which I believe is not true. There's something that you have. It's more about resourcefulness than it is about resources. We spend a lot of energy telling ourselves what we don't have, but we don't spend as much energy as we can telling folks what we can do and what we do have, and taking advantage of what we do have. One of the things, if you are alive and kicking and you can see and you can read, you can look online and get some books. We were talking about YouTube before, and really start to learn and glean from other individuals, other coaches and things like that, things to sharpen up that skill set that you have. If you were in, there's so many industries, I don't want to go down the list, but I'll take it from my aspect, from management. Managing people, that's a skill set that I've used in every industry that I worked in, as well as in the work that I do for churches. Helping folks to manage, attitudes, manage individuals, manage projects, things of that nature. That's a very, very lucrative skill that I think that you would never get the amount of money in a corporation that you can online right now. The opportunity is just massive.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's another question that I understand where you're headed there, and being able to take that passion and work online, and because the world is not going back to normal, so to speak, and we've heard there is no normal, there's no new normal. Like you said, businesses are all working from but a lot are working from home now, and won't be going back to the office. There's no need. So if you're able to take whatever your skill set is and translate it into doing something from where you are, there's step one. Take your whatever that you're great at and create something you can do from where you are in your chair right now, teaching someone to do what you know. Like you said, you may know more than you think you know, but step one is figuring out how to transition that skill into an online, some type of business, no?
To a virtual space. I think that you've nailed it right on the head. One of the things that I can offer as a tool too, besides different books and things like that, is that I'm involved in a corporation with Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi. It's a program that I purchased back in 2019. It's called Knowledge Business Blueprint. And what it basically teaches you in that course, it teaches you how to actually extract your knowledge and use that to build a business and to create a business. And what I use on a daily basis with my clients is I help them understand how to do that in a way, one, that's well thought out, and then it's a plan that has worked for so many thousands of people around the world. So getting different programming, definitely getting a coach, getting in touch with someone that actually has done what you're trying to do. Like that's what we do on a daily basis. We help people start businesses to make sure that they're starting correctly as far as, licensure, what's going on in their state or in their country or their county, if you will, some villages. And also understanding what they need to do insurance wise and things like that to be a real business and to be solid.
I love where you're headed. And I think when I hear people talking about starting a new business, the first thing I think of, or they tell me is, man, do I have to work like 70, 80 hours to get this off the ground? Am I going to lose my family trying to build this income? I don't want to be a mogul. I just want to pay my bills. Does it take that kind of time, or can you do it in 40 hours or even part-time to get it started? Is that possible?
Yeah. To get it started, I think you can. I don't want to throw create a narrative that this is going to be the easiest thing you've ever done. The hardest part about this, Derek, is mindset. It's about mindset and understanding exactly. And this is where I start with all of my clients. We start with a process called clarity. It's true clarity is basically what the process is. And it's basically, I take them through a framework to help them understand, first of all, where they are today. I mean, to be honest with themselves, where are you? And then where are you looking to go to? And helping them kind of bridge that gap. And I always tell my folks, I'm a family man. I'm a husband, as well as a grandfather. And I've been married this coming April, actually, for 33 years to my beautiful wife, Vicky, right?
33 years, you go. Years. Yes, can you write a book about that? That's what I want to know.
I can do that as well, brother. I can do that as well. It's going to be probably a podcast coming out in your neighborhood real soon with me and her on it. But one of the things that I help folks understand is that if your dream doesn't include your family, it's not a dream. It's not a dream. Two, you have to work around your family responsibilities. And while I do put in that 50, 60 hours, that's not a 50, 60 hours that I take from my family. I don't have a real appreciation for, or I don't lean on the side of what folks have called life balance or family life balance. It's called work-life balance.
Yeah.
I don't believe that there is anything like that. Something's going to miss, right? So what I do is I put all of my family stuff into my calendar, and my wife and I, we actually share our iPhone calendar, right? So she knows exactly where I am.
We do too, man. That saves me so much hassle. That saves my life, bro.
She doesn't have to ask me, okay, so what's going on here? She knows right now that I'm on the phone with her. You know, so she knows not to schedule.
Tell all the husbands that's a blessing. Yeah. We do it too. And my wife don't have to ask me what's going on the planet. I know what's going on her side. She can schedule around it. That's a winner.
And that thing there has saved me so many, hey, I can't do it, if you will, for my wife. Because she knows that this particular hour or this block of time or these days or this week, I'm in coaching here, or I'm doing this with a client, or I'm on a podcast or things like that. So she already knows that. So that's one piece of it. Once you get your family obligations built in there, then you build your business around that. And you can start off part-time, but just understand it's going to be a little bit slower in the building. But if you do it strategically, you can be very, very successful.
I think the key word you keep saying, and I hear it more often than not, is strategic. So many people maybe they have a job. Maybe they're not without work, but they have a job and they're feeling like, okay, if I want to start a business now, I can't quit my job. Can I start it part-time? But you're saying, hey, if you can map out the time properly, and I talk to my kids about this, it's time blocks. We all waste way more time than we have in a day. So if I know, okay, I can block out an hour here, I've got an hour on Tuesday, I've got 2 hours on Saturday, and I can put together a 10-hour plan a week to put into something, I'm going to go further on that thing because I've blocked out time for it, right?
100%. You know what, too? There's a process. You just hit on one of the processes that I teach my people as well. It's called the not to-do list. The not to-do list. Yeah. We teach them in a framework that we designed in regards to the things that they do. We have them dump everything that they do in the course of their week on a piece of paper. And then we go through this framework where we tell them, okay, some things in here you can delegate, some things you can automate, some things you need to delete. Once you get through that process, they open up no less than 20, 25 hours a week that they had no idea, one, that was there, and two, that they can use that towards what is going to be moving the needle for them and their family. So those two tools right there are the ones that we usually start with folks that are just starting out. And I always, and I work with a lot of C-suite executives and things like that. I always tell people, do not burn the boats. Let your job be the fuel that you need for your business, because it's going to do two things. Because I didn't do that. I didn't just, I'm out of here, I'm going to build my dreams. No, I didn't do that. I had kids and a wife. I'm like, no, we're not going to build our dreams. You'd
have been on the curb, bro. I know you wife. You'd have been on the curb. Like
GE riding curb service. No, I utilized the hours that I wasn't at work, that 6 to 3 a.m., 6 p.m. to 3 a.m., I use that to build my business. Did I work every one of those days? Most of them I did, but that's just me though. I love what I do. I love serving people, but it's not necessary. If you put in 2-3 hours a week during the course of your day, not 2-3 hours a week, 2 or 3 hours a day during the course of your day, I promise you'll have some steam. And that's what we help people kind of understand how to navigate.
Wow. Well, closing all this together, first of all, you've got some great knowledge out here, and I think people just need to know that it's possible. We hear so much from the media, from the news, from all over. We're drowning. Nothing's going to happen. We're all dying. Yes, COVID is real. Yes, there are some challenges, but 100%. There's a lot of positive things happening right now. And if we can grasp the fact that we can control our own destiny, we can control our circumstances, it's 10% what happens to you, 90% how you respond to it. That's where our world is. So,
and that's that mindset piece.
Yeah, it's a mindset thing.
It's a mindset piece. I think that's probably 80-85% of the work that we do is helping people get out of themselves, if you will, and the things that they've been told and what they've been telling themselves for years, and reprogramming them, not in a weird or what have you, but helping them rethink what actually is happening. One of the things that I always focus on is what is at the core. What is the reason for this happening? We don't know why the pandemic is happening. We don't know why we responded in the way that we responded, but we're here. We're here now. And there are people that are creating companies. And if you look online, get away from the news, look on a business website. Business is moving. America's still moving. If you go to your local grocery store, that's a business. It's still moving. Gas stations, they're still moving. Restaurants are struggling, but some restaurants, if you look in your town, they've actually figured it out and are doing a lot of curbside things and a lot of delivery. So there's a way to figure it out. You just have to be resourceful.
So let's close it with the thought of, whatever your business idea is, I always tell people, number one, try to find your niche, narrow it down a little bit so you're not so broad. Number two, don't be afraid to look for knowledge about it. Pay someone if you need to. Get a coach that's going to kind of guide you through what you're 100%. Looking at. Number three, make sure that it can be online or out to where it's accessible outside of a brick and mortar, because brick and mortar is tough right now. So you need to be able to reach way more than just your local area. You can reach the world with whatever your product or your business is, if it's positioned right and if it's done right marketing wise. Number four is your marketing. Like you said, you've got to be able to figure out how to reach people. I talk about this stuff on my own channel because, of course, I've been working with this channel for a couple of years, and I get great content here, but if nobody sees it, it's just great content by myself. So I have to figure out, how do I get this content out so people can see it? So again, I have to do some learning, but it's always saying not being afraid to dig in. And then, of course, the last one is set aside some time to learn about what you want to do. Take your skill, take your craft, take whatever you do, go deeper into it. If it's YouTube, if it's hiring a coach, if it's you can't go back to school, but you can find some people that know it, find out, go deeper about it. Take those time blocks and dig into the business. It's possible. You can do it. What do you think, Randall?
Absolutely. I think that, and again, I will keep coming back to the mindset piece, because probably the toughest part of this whole pandemic and trying to get into business, if that's what you're trying to do. And even, and I want to really say this, we haven't said this enough. There are some individuals that don't want to go and create a business. And I have clients that have no interest in creating a business, but they want to, maximize their time and to maximize the value they have and that they give to the companies that they work for and that they support. And there's nothing wrong with that. Entrepreneurship is hard. It's a hard business, and it's not for everyone, right? But there are some of us that are out there that aren't taking that step forward simply because we don't have the correct mindset and we don't understand we can do anything. We can do anything if we have the right tools that we need to propel us forward. I tell that to my children all the time when we were raising those guys, and they're all adults now, and they all have this mindset that I can do anything. And don't be afraid to step out on faith and to invest in yourself. And I don't mean, if you're talking about, and this is something also I want to really kind of share here, Derek, in regards to finances. If you're looking to build a six-figure business, and I know that we talked about that at the top of the hour, but if you're looking to build a six-figure business, but you only want to put $250 into yourself, invest in yourself, I don't think that's going to work.
It's not going to cut it.
I have invested tens of thousands into me to get our business to where it is now. And it's because there are different pieces that I need. I have coaches. I have 3 coaches myself that help me with different various pieces of my business. So never be afraid to learn. Always be a reader, because everything you need, you guys, everything you need to learn, everything you need to glean from individuals, it's in a book right now. It's in a book right now. You just need to understand which book it is and to read that thing and do what I'm telling all of my business associates. I'm telling my team here in Chicago is that our word this year is implementation. Once you get the knowledge, it's great to learn, but you got to implement. You got to do
and
the
it's
work.
Out there on video too. Don't forget video. It's in a book.
100%.
But man, so much of it
and
is
audio.
Content
That's
now.
how I read.
Podcasts, videos. Yeah. It is out there, y'all. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Everything we need is out there. So, man, this has been a great moment of just talking about what's possible. And of course, can I let them know how to get a hold of you? You obviously have the wisdom and the knowledge to get some of the people to where they have to go. How do they get a hold of you, Randall?
Absolutely. I'd love to share what we have here and what we built with other individuals and kind of share with folks. The easiest thing to do is to go onto our website, G.E. Riley, that's Riley, GERiley.com. All of our calendar information is there, as well as services that we offer for folks. And it's really, it's pretty comprehensive in regards to, we help people start businesses. And we help businesses that are in, like I've done a lot of work in the last probably 6 months, helping folks kind of pivot into that virtual space and helping not only businesses, but also a lot of churches around the country pivot into that space and help them understand that this is not the time to slow down. This is the time to put on the gas. Because like one of my mentors, Tony Robbins, says is that, the deepest or the most advantageous time is when folks are most pessimistic. And they're I think he got that from Paul Tudor Jones, one of his
I think so.
that is a billionaire in his own right. And he's like, when folks are scared and sheltered in place and pulling back from the marketplace, throwing stuff into a hole, if you will, that's the time to push. And right now we're in the midst of that. And keeping in mind here in America, we're in, what is this, February? This year is going to be very much like it is right now. So this is a great time to start advertising, to start going after and defining who it is that you're going to serve, and then creating a service that is a second to none.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And you and I have been friends for years, man, and we never had a chance to sit down and talk like this. So I'm going, it's about time.
I appreciate it, man.
Everything in God's time, for sure.
To come back and talk about some other things, because I know that this journey is not easy, man. It's not easy. It wasn't easy for us. But you know what? I'm not the smartest dude in the world. I'm not. There's a lot of stuff that I don't know. But this is what I want to forward you guys, and I also want to, share with you. There's some stuff that you guys do know. And there's a couple things that I do know. And let's help the world with that knowledge and change the world for good.
Well, we're going to come back and do a part 2 with you, man. We're going to go in depth the next time. Today was just laying the foundation to let people check out what is possible and to encourage folks, which is all my content's about. Uplift, encourage, inspire you to live the best life you can right now, because life is beautiful if you make it. Well, as always, we appreciate you guys stopping by. Randall, of course, it's been a blessing to have you on the channel. I'm going to make sure they can get to you. I'm going to put the stuff on the screen so they can see, so you guys can reach out and contact them. And if you love the content you see here, please hit us with that like or subscribe. This lets us get the most updated content to you as soon as it's available. We sure do appreciate you spending time with us. We cherish you. Have a great one, guys. Take care, and we'll see you next time at Beautiful.